Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Ludwig, Consulting Chef, welcoming you back to another edition of the GFS Video Kitchen. Today, we're going to be showing you some quick and easy to learn techniques for turning fresh vegetables into colorful and dramatic presentations for your buffet table and party platters. We're privileged today to have with us one of the Midwest's premier vegetable carvers, Executive Chef Dick Alford. Dick, welcome.
Thanks for having me here, Jerry.
Well, it's good to have you here. Dick's been in the GFS test kitchen for the past couple of days teaching a course on vegetable carving. And the presentations that you see in front of us were all created by people that had no previous vegetable carving experience. And I'll tell you, Dick, I really think this is some impressive stuff.
So do I, Jerry, and it just shows if you learn a few basic cuts and a few basic techniques, anybody can do this. All you have to do once you learn those techniques is practice and use your imagination.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, not only are these beautiful, but they really look like a lot of fun to put together, so let's get started.
Okay, Jerry, now let's take a look at the tools we're going to use today to create our garnishes with. The tools we're going to use is a thin Perry knife, about 3.5 inch long blade, vegetable peeler, linoleum block carver set that you can get at a local craft store, different size Parisian scoops, skewers, and toothpicks. And once you get these tools down and you develop more skill, then you can go to a set that's more complicated and spend a little more money. But these are the basic tools we're going to use, Jerry. Jerry, as you know, anytime we do anything, there's certain basic things you need to do. And with this stuff, there's just certain basic cuts. And there's certain garnishes that we can use that'll show these basic cuts. And one of them is a radish mouse. Okay, Jerry, what we're going to do is slice off the bottom. Then we're going to do a 45-degree cut, rocket, and you'll hear a little crack. Then we'll split this for the ears, scoop out the white, insert, scoop out the white, and we have a little mouse.
So basically what you're saying is these are two basic cuts that are going to be used in all of the garnishes that we're going to see here.
In 90% of the garnishes we do, these cuts will be in there. Jerry, we're going to do two more basic cuts. One is going to be a wedge cut and a circular cut. First thing we do, Jerry, is cut a little bit off the bottom, set it aside. We mark in our two wings. Then we pick our knife up and the radish up, put the knife in and rotate it and cut out a circle. We want to rotate the knife, the radish against the knife, not rotating the knife.
Against the radish,
yeah. And come around. Then once we get our spots made in, then we're going to do a wedge. We're going to come in, do a straight cut, drop down and do an angle cut coming up, then split the two wings, then pop the inside wings out, because that's going to leave the skin attached so it's not falling apart. And there we have our ladybug. We have the spots on it and the wings. And again, the spots, rotating the radish and making these spots and the wedge cut are very important.
Looks great.
Now that we've seen our basic cuts, now let's see what we can do with them. And the first thing I'm going to show you is a radish rose, which I term as radish rose 1.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to start. Okay, Jerry, what we're going to do is go a series of mouse cuts as we're going all the way around. We just do them. We find the point here and just let our knife drop. Then once we get all the way around, we're going to turn the radish, put our knife in, and just like we did when we did the beetle, we're going to rotate the radish. That's why I told you that was important, is learning how to rotate, because most of the things we're going to do is the vegetable is going to move and the knife is going to be still. And you got to make sure you get your wedges in all the way so you're not picking. You know.
Okay.
Then you turn around where these two meet and do another series of the little mouse cuts I call, all the way around, turn, cut your wedge out, remove it.
One thing that I noticed that you're doing is really kind of the opposite of what I see most cooks, including myself, do. When I'm doing garnishes, generally I take the knife and I cut from forward to back, whereas you're taking the knife and going forward.
Well, the reason I do that is I can measure the size of my petal by here, but if I'm coming this way, I have all this blade all this blade here that I can make a mistake with, I can overcut. Here when I come in, my petal's only going to be this big. I don't have to worry about coming down and cutting my fingers or anything like that. It's easier for me. Of course, when you get into this, you might find it easier for you to do this way, but I find through my teaching is doing this. If I want a larger petal, I can come here and get a larger petal.
That's probably why your radish roses look a lot nicer than mine.
Well, I don't know about that. I saw what you've done, so. And this is radish rose number 1. Jerry, now we're going to do another radish. I call it radish rose number 2. And what we're going to do is start the same way as we did with radish number 1, doing a series of the mouse cuts, these 45-degree cuts as we go all the way around. Then we're going to come in here where these two come together, this junction point, and we're just going to scoop a little bit of the white out, just like we did with the mouse. At each one of those junction points all the way around, just go all the way around. Then we have a white pattern. Then we're just going to do mouse cuts over top of each of the whites, and just go on all the way around. Then scoop again, just repeating like we did, and just come on up, scoop out just like we did with the beetle cut. And we're going to go on up, around, and scoop. Now, when the radish starts coming this way, the angle of our knife will change. Because if we don't change the angle of our knife, what we're going to do is end up with a pine cone effect instead of a flower effect. Now to finish it off, we're going to do a series of the cuts, and these are almost perpendicular now. And then remember when we did the spots, we came in this way. Well, this time we're going to come from the center out, then rotate the radish, which will give us a cone effect and give us a finished part.
That is really pretty.
And this is radish rose number 2.
And basically, you were just using the mouse cut and the scoop cut.
Mouse scoop.
In a little bit of a variation to make this flower.
And the finish cut, which is just opposite of when we made the spots with our beetle. The next technique we're going to do is flat flowers. And to learn flat flowers, first of all, we're going to teach you how to get a slice off of the turnip. We're going to put our knife in till it's about halfway, then rotate the turnip. You insert your knife till you come to the center, then rotate the turnip against the knife. And just keep rotating it around, and you're going to finish your cut. You come all the way into the center and rotate. And if you're to the center, it will cut off. One thing you don't want to do is start doing this, because if you start doing that, then you're going to cut your thumb. So it's just put it in and rotate it around. You'll hear it, and it'll come out, and then you'll have your slices.
Okay.
And this is the easiest way I've found to do it, because if you have something round and you're up here and you're trying to, it's always wobbling.
Right.
This way we're going to get, as you can see, the slices are basically all the same.
Now, what if you had a lot of flowers to make?
If I had a lot of flowers, my good old slicing machine or a mandolin, those are good. You can just put them in the slicing machine and just really knock a lot of them out, and then you can go from there.
Great. But definitely for people who want to do garnishes, this is a nice technique to practice, just being in the absence of a meat slicer or a mandolin, something like that.
Well, anytime you have something round, it's always, in the one wedge, you end up wedge and everything else. This way we get relatively straight cuts.
Yeah, nice and flat.
Now the first one we're going to do is a gardenia style flower. What we're going to do is start here and just make a series of arcs and cut out like the spade on a card, playing cards. Then we're going to just do a series of them all the way around. All the way around. And this is the gardenia. What you have. That's one way of doing it.
Wow, that's really pretty.
Then the second style is you can come around, and if you put your finger in the center, then do a wedge. Rotate it, cut another wedge. And what you want to do is use your finger as a guide, and just go right on around. You don't want to get it too thin at the center, because if you get it too thin at the center, then they're going to break off. Then to finish it off, all you do is take your knife and come in at triangles, rotating the turnip back and forth. Your knife goes one way, turnip goes the other way. Just keep going on around. This is just another style of flower. You know, it's more like a daisy style. Wow. And when you do something like this, then you can do a lot of different things with them. And those are just very quick. And then it's your imagination. You know, as you walk around and you're looking at flowers, take a look at the flower. Take a look at the leaf and see what they're like. Jerry, the next one we're going to do is with a carrot. And we're going to use two different tools. This time we've graduated from just a paring knife into a vegetable peeler. And a vegetable peeler, a lot of people use it incorrectly. They grab it here in their fist and they really start doing. This is designed to be held in the fingertips with a light stroke. And as you notice, I'm just stroking down, and again, the carrot is moving.
Yeah, I think you're taking a lot less peel off, too.
A lot less peel. You'd be surprised how much money goes down into the garbage pan, you know, from carrots. And then it's faster, you know. As you go along, if you're doing 25 pounds of carrots and you get that gripped in your hand, you're going to have a very sore elbow.
No doubt
and
about
you don't want a sore elbow because it's something else. Jerry, could you take care and
sure,
clean this up for me so we can move on?
Here and
Boys, these chop chops are great, aren't they?
I tell you, they are just a
wonderful,
wonderful product. And that, of course, the plastic chop boards we've got in 3 different sizes in stock at GFS. So.
And also with these board mates underneath, I love them. You know, it's so nice when I travel or in my kitchen, I can just move things around.
Right, the board mates are another stock item, and that's really nice that we don't have to put a wet cloth underneath the cutting board. Really helps to improve the sanitation in the kitchen.
Greatly. Now we've got this nice peeled carrot. Here's a nice simple garnish to do. What we're going to do is come around and do a series of mouse cuts around the carrot. And then just with a simple twist of the wrist, we end up with a nice little crocus flower. Okay. And we go on up, just making sure that the knife goes into the center. And another one. Okay. And we can just flatten these edges off. We can do a whole series of these and do a nice serpentine border with them.
Neat.
Okay. And also with carrots, what's nice is we can take a piece of carrot like this and do facets. Just cut these flat areas in. Then you drop the knife down and all the way to the center. And if everything comes out right, it'll... No.
One more cut.
Yeah. And it comes right off.
Wow, that is really gorgeous. That is really beautiful.
Now, Jerry, what use could you see with this?
Oh, I could see this, you know, filled with some kind of mousse, perhaps a flavored cream cheese, something like that for an appetizer, a nice small hors d'oeuvre that you could pick up.
Or what about some whipped butter on your buttered plate? Or you can do, you know, a little series of borders on a tray, just contrast. And again, of course, too, if you want to change this a little bit, you can just pick it up in your hand here like this and just carve around and all of a sudden it changes.
Wow.
As you can see, it's changed now. It's just different petal. We could do different petals also.
Absolutely beautiful. And I would imagine you go down the carrot with these little crocus cuts, you probably get a dozen or so of these little decorations out of one carrot.
Now that we've got some things made, let's show the people what we can do with some of the stuff we've got made. If you bring those flowers we made back, and we'll show them a couple things we can do.
Okay.
What's nice about this is we can do some combination things with these. We can take one of our flat flowers and take one of our culinary nails here, you know, this toothpick. And remember, whenever you're putting toothpicks or skewers in anything, you never want to push them through because they hurt when they go in your fingers. You want to insert them in and then screw them through.
Okay.
And you notice how I've got my hand out here, so I'm not doing this, so I'm not going in. Then we can take one of our carrot flowers, and we have a nice combination flower.
Wow.
Let's do something, Jerry. Let's save time. Why don't we just get a pineapple here? I got a pineapple over here. And as we do this, why don't we just take and start making a display?
Great.
We'll just start putting this in. All I've done is flatten the bottom of the pineapple a little bit so it doesn't move.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to take different parts of this and just put them together and just insert them up into the pineapple here.
Neat.
We take, with the radish rose here, we'll flatten a little bit of it off so we get a nice miter to it.
Okay.
And again, we'll just put it together. And you can see how quick and simple this is. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it takes so much time to do these garnishes, and it really doesn't. It's very quick. You know, time's money, and it's just, we can just put them in here, just insert them in a little bit. Then some of these, we don't have the morning combination. These are called combination flowers. We can take some of our single flowers, just put them through, and see how quickly here we have a nice little display. And I think as we go through and do some more things, we'll just
build on the pineapple.
Just build it out. I think maybe we need a bigger centerpiece up here. So what I'm going to do, and remember, Jerry, when you're doing a display, I don't care if you're doing a one-sided buffet or not. You still want to finish the back of your piece, because that's the sign of a professional. That's the sign of a finished piece. So you always want to make sure you put some things in the back. You know, sometimes, because, you know, when people put things on the buffet, you might tell them put it this way, it'll end up this way. Even if it does end up as an accident, what you'll have is still some garnish here. And as you can see, this is an attractive piece right now. The next thing we're going to do is a little more complicated. We're going to do a turnip rose, which means we've got to shape our turnip to a shape that we can work with. And what we're going to do that is we're going to peel it, you know, military style, where you take about half of it off. We're going to turn it over and do the opposite angle. And then flatten it off. And then we're going to take and do a series of mouse cuts. A to B to C. A to B to C. A up to that line and down. Just go all the way around. And come back to the beginning. Then rotate it and cut the corner off.
Okay.
And you want to see how you can almost see the
Yeah.
blade of the knife going through there. And if you get lucky, it comes off all in one piece.
Nice.
And then you just repeat into the wall there. You go all the way around and turn. And remove.
Okay.
Then come around again.
You talked about what happens when you get up towards the top.
Now when you get up to the top here, now you're going to change the angle and come more to the center. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to get that pine cone effect again.
Right.
Now we come to the center, and then we can just go right on around and finish it. But now here we have this nice white turnip.
That shaped up really quick.
It shapes up really quick. But, you know, if I'm doing this, I have no contrast here. So if I want a little contrast, what I'll do is I'll make myself a paintbrush.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is come in here, cut a little bit of red bead off. Then I'm going to take this, and you got to watch with red beads. If you get it against your coat or anything else, it's going to stain. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint with this. And now all you see, now we have contrast.
May I?
Yes, sure. Take a look.
That is absolutely gorgeous. Now basically here we're using the mouse cut, and then I guess what would that other cut be called?
The
Like
wedge.
the wedge cut. So we're using the mouse and the wedge. Now, no doubt about it, this is going to take a little bit of practice, but once again, really all you have to do is get down those two basic cuts, and with a little bit of practice, I mean, this is really a gorgeous and dramatic garnish.
Yeah. And if you want contrast, you could have a white one, the tinted one, and then you could do one with the red bead, and you could have three. Now we've got our centerpiece we've been building on. Now we can take this, we can put it up here in the center. We have a centerpiece for.
That really, really comes out nice.
As you see, everything we've done here is nothing's really complex. We haven't done anything real complex, and a lot of people think, oh, I can't do this because I got to have all this artistic talent. What we've done takes no artistic talent at all.
Yeah. It's really just a matter of, as you said before, getting down those basic cuts and then using your imagination and practice.
If you can peel a potato with a paring knife, you can do this stuff. The next product we're going to work with, Jerry, is green onions. And what we're going to do is just cut the root end off of the green onion, just the roots. And then we're going to cut off a little bit of the white. We're going to set this, we're going to do something else with the green, but right now we're just going to work with white. We're going to what we call explode, or make a daisy or chrysanthemum out of this. We're going to split it in half. Then we're going to take our knife with the cutting edge up, measure to the center. The reason we want to measure to the center is if we come back here and we start shredding, next thing we do will be shredding our finger, and that hurts.
Right.
So we measure it, and then we're just going to come in here and just shred this up. Now these are one of the last things you want to do when you're going to do it. Some people throw them in water that curls them a little more. Some people throw them in water with the food color so they can get color. And then you just take it and and what you have is an exploded little daisy.
Wow.
And we have that here. And then with the green part, we can do a couple different things. We'll trim this off, trim these at an angle so they look sort of like a leaf. One of them we can take and go this way, then split it down a little bit and just peel it back.
Wow.
And then we get a little more leaf effect.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a skewer, a bamboo skewer. We're going to take it and come down the center of one of these, blunt end. And again, we're screwing it through. We're not pressing. Even though this is a blunt end, we're still pressing it through because we got the sharp end up here. If we press on it, it's allowed to go in our fingers. Then we put it here like this. Then we take and screw this onto here. Then what we have is this little daisy. And you can do these. And these, of course, is the last thing you want to put on your display.
Because they're going to wilt the quickest.
Right. And what we can do then is we can bring back our magic pineapple here, and if we want height on our display, we just add this, and now we have some height. And we bend these down again. And as this is out, these will stay down more. And you have it.
Yeah.
We build some height to it.
Great, really adds
Real
some drama.
quick, real simple, you know. And this you could also use if you wanted as a plate garnish. You could take, and then take some of the green and put it on there as a plate garnish. So it has some versatility to it. Jerry, I'm going to show you a variation of a very popular garnish. A lot of people will take tomatoes, and in a lot of the books and that, they show you to start here at the stem end and come around, and then take the toothpick and hold it together. I'm going to show you a way where you don't have to use a toothpick. What you're going to do is come in here at the top, at the blossom end, cut about 3/4 of the way through, then drop your knife down the side, and with a sawing motion, just underneath the skin, just moving around. And one thing the sawing motion does, it releases the pressure. You're not putting a lot of pressure on it. You're not squishing your tomato, but it also gives a little variegation to the edge and makes the rose look more natural. And what you do is you just move on around. You cut it up to your thumb, then you rotate and you move around. Until you come down to the end.
Okay.
Then you set this aside and use it in salad or something else. And then you have the skin. Then all you do then is just roll it up. And what happens when we roll this up, this top part here becomes a stand. And we don't have to have a toothpick.
Oh, wow.
We have it here. We can do a bunch of these, put them on a tray, then just reach over, boom, and put them on.
Great.
Well, let's bring our magic little pineapple back here. And what we can do is down here, this is not going to hold real well up here. We could put it in the center up here, it'll hold. But we can just put this down here, and as you can see,
Works wonderfully.
works wonderful for this. Jerry, we made that real nice tomato rose, but standing by itself there, let's do something to give us a little contrast. And what we're going to do is just take a piece of zucchini. I'm going to cut a couple slices off of it. And then what we're going to do is take these slices and just do a nice arc. Nice leaf shape. Move this stuff out of our way. Now this is where this little vegetable carving tool comes in here. This little linoleum block carving tool. It has a little V gouge on it. What we can do is come in here and just draw some lines in and just put our leaf marks in.
Wow. Well, that goes easy and quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes very easy, very quick. These you can pick up, just the handles run anywhere from $3 to $4, and then you can get the V gouges and U gouges and other things. Or you can buy a whole set that runs about $8, $9. So, you know, in equipment, we do not have a lot of money here invested into this. And you see, and this doesn't take long. Now we got our leaves made. Let's bring our magic pineapple back again.
Okay.
And now just look, see how right now we have no contrast, but all we do is just put these in, and you see what happens. We have a lot of color now, color variation.
Works like a charm.
This again on the edge of a tray, you could do this on the edge of a tray. We could take this off of here. Suppose this is the edge of our tray. We could put our tomato rose here, and just put our leaves here, and maybe do a smaller one or another contrast, and then just do our crudités. And it really sets it off. Or a small platter, a small crudité platter for on a table. You have a round one, put this off the side. I don't like to put things in the center. Off the side, and then flow your crudités and things off of it.
Great.
Now let's put this back on our display. Now, as you can see, our display is getting better all the time. This is finished. We're going to show you a different thing. You know, this is red cabbage. You know, and a lot of times we take these nice outside leaves and they get thrown away. Well, we're not going to throw them away. We're going to use them. We're going to get our dollar value out of what we've bought. So what we're going to do is just going to take some of these outer leaves off. Just trim them off here. And what we're going to do is make a flower with them. Now, when we did our green leaves, you notice we had to take our linoleum block cutter and make all our things in here.
Oh yeah, all the rib marks.
They're there already.
Okay.
So all we're going to do is we're going to cut our leaf shape in. Move this off to the side. Just cut our leaf shape in. And you can make these flowers as big as you want. You know, sometimes I take like a jicama and I carve a rose out of it and hollow that rose out, and then I use it as put these petals around it, and I use it as a dip holder.
That is really neat. It's like instant leaves.
Instant leaves. It's
1
very
second
quickly.
to make.
Yeah.
Now, do you always use red cabbage on these, or?
You can use white cabbage, but if you're going to use white cabbage, you want a contrasting color center, maybe with a carrot center or something. And what we're going to do with this center, if you could give me the turnip rose we did with a little bit of the purple on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, since this is round, we're going to have to make these a little bit round.
Okay.
We're going to just scoop a little bit. Remember back to the mouse ears?
Yeah, the scoop
Okay,
cut.
there's a scoop cut again. Then we're going to take some toothpicks. And using the back of our knife, we're going to put the toothpick on the knife and then crack.
Oh, okay.
And one of the reasons you want to do that is, you notice I just dropped my knife. If I'd have had it this way, I would have the possibility of cutting myself.
Right.
And also we're not dulling our knife.
Okay.
Then we're going to take a couple pieces of this, put the blunt end of the toothpick into the cabbage. Do not put the sharp end, because the sharp end will break out and it'll go in your finger and it hurts.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add this around our cabbage. It's like playing with Legos, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
And the reason we're doing two, if we only put one in there, it could swivel.
Okay.
With putting these two halves in here. Now, Jerry, you notice we're putting toothpicks in there. Anytime we put toothpicks in anything, we're making a non-edible garnish, because we don't want people picking it up and eating it and getting a piece of toothpick caught in their throat.
Right, it's a little too much fiber.
Right, it's a little heavy. It's a little hard to digest. So we just keep going around. And these can be made very quickly. We could have just, if we needed it really quickly, we could take a piece of leek and explode it like we exploded our green onion and just go right around, and it'll go ahead. And we're almost finished. We're going to put about one more petal on here. And another thing you can do, Jerry, is you can wash these real well and then hit them with a little bit of vegetable oil. It'll give them a little shine.
Okay.
And if we use some of the interior leaves there else. And there we have it, Jerry. We have it. I'll let you hold that there.
I'm taking that home with me. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And easy and quick, too. I
Right,
just
that-
like instant leaves.
Right, and it gives a lot of coverage. You know, you can cover a lot of space real quick. Jerry, as you notice, we have a lot of different displays here, but most of these displays are made with the basic techniques we've shown in this video. We have different colored flowers, different shapes, different colors, and some different containers.
Yeah, I noticed that, you know, of course, we have some of the smaller turnip roses made here, but then, you know, down in front, we have some of those same roses using the same cuts made from carrots. And some of the flat flowers here, some are made from radishes, some are different shapes with the flat turnips. It's really just a matter of taking those basic cuts and then using your imagination to mix and match. Now, you know, I also see that we have some of the pieces that you helped people create in your class. And of course, that expanded into the carved watermelons and different animal shapes. I know you did like a cucumber whale, and here we have a zucchini bird. But the techniques for all of those are shown in the companion book that comes with this video. So the people who want to do those will have the instructions right in the book to help them along with that.
And I hope they have fun doing this, because it is a lot of fun.
Boy, there's no doubt about it. It's beautiful, and it's really enjoyable. Once you get good, you know, and you can just turn this stuff out so quickly.
And this will set your buffet apart from the guy down the street.
No doubt
and get
about
people to come in and talk about your place. And word-of-mouth advertising is one of the cheapest and best you can get.
Absolutely. If you have any questions about anything contained in this video, feel free to contact me at extension 4014. Dick, I would definitely like to thank you for being with us today, and want to thank all of you for joining us once again in the GFS Video Kitchen. Have a great day.